And we already connected with the rapper who happens to be mixed blood, Indonesia and Switzerland. He is famous not only in Indonesia but also in Dubai, and he is by the name Swerte. Hi Swerte, so what does it feel like to grow up in two different cultures?
Being a multicultural person, a third culture kid, that's what people say nowadays, right? My life has been full of very interesting experiences, and I've been blessed to experience many different cultures and nationalities wherever I go. I used to focus on the negative things, where I always felt like I never truly fit in anywhere. My mother is Indonesian, my father is Swiss, so whenever I was with my Indonesian family, I was always considered a foreigner and my father's son. And whenever I was with my father's family, I was also considered a foreigner and my mother's son. I guess maybe that's why I now feel so comfortable in Dubai, because Dubai is a multicultural city where 85 to 90% of the population are expats. They're foreigners. They're not from there, So I probably feel most at home there because we're all not from there. It's like a city full of people that don't belong. But I think instead of focusing on the negatives, I just noticed that all these differences are what make us so special and what make us so unique. And because I was brought up in a home that had two different cultures in it, and I was taught two different traditions, it opened my mind up to receive and accept all the different traditions and cultures in the world. So I find that I'm able to connect with people a lot easier.
So can you tell us about your journey to become a rapper, since you have become a TV crew before and then you move on to rapper? So can you please tell us?
Actually, it's all started because of rap. I wouldn't be working in broadcasting in Dubai if it wasn't because of rap. What made me study sound engineering was because I wanted to take my music more seriously. So I started rapping around 14 years old in Jakarta. I started before that. I started in my bedroom just trying to write my own raps. And then around 14 years old, a friend of mine said, hey, there's a rap competition happening. And all these rappers from around the country are going to come and they're going to join this. And he's like, do you want to go? And just like, whatever, let's just have some fun and perform, like get up on stage in front of some people and perform on some big speakers. And I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? It sounded like fun. We ended up winning first place. So that was cool. And little did I know that in the audience, Dewi Sandra was there, and she was, a pretty big up and coming R&B singer at the time. And she came to us afterwards and she was like, hey, I really like your vibe. I really like the way you guys perform. Would you guys be interested in being my opening act and playing with me every time I play in Jakarta? And as a 14-year-old teenager, I was just like, yeah. Well, first of all, I was like, oh my God, it's Dewi Sandra. And then it was like, oh my God, she wants me to open for her. Hell yeah. So, that winning first place and then being asked to be Dewi Sandra's opening group, that really gave me the confidence, and I think it helped give my parents some confidence as well, that maybe this is something that I could pursue a little bit more seriously. So I did end up, playing with Dewi quite often for the next 2 years. We started doing our own shows as well. Didn't end up getting into, recording anything serious at the time because it was just hard, back in 1997, 98, 99. It was quite tough to get into a studio to make music, and the equipment to make music wasn't as ready as available as it is now. You know, like you just get GarageBand on a laptop and you can do your own thing. Back then, I mean, no one had a laptop, so you know. So then after I graduated high school, I decided I wanted to take it seriously. So I studied sound engineering. I went to Manchester. I spent 4 years in Manchester studying sound engineering. Obviously over there, I was also soaking in the music culture because Manchester is, you know, it's one of the capitals of music in the world. So I soaked in a lot of the music culture over there. It was a great experience for me. And then in 2005, I went to Dubai on holiday. And Dubai, at that time, there was no music industry. And what interested me to move there was I met a couple of sound engineers and some other people that were, you know, experienced in the music industry, and they were all like, hey, you know, with your skills and your knowledge, if you come here, you know, you could help us build something here in terms of the music industry. So that's what made me choose to go to Dubai instead of staying in Manchester or going to somewhere like New York or Los Angeles, where there was a more established music industry. I just thought it would be more interesting to go somewhere where I could maybe help build something new from scratch, you know? So yeah, I moved to Dubai. I found a job working at the government TV station. So yeah, I moved there, and then I started my own record label, and I started taking my music career a lot more seriously. And here I am 16, 17 years later, got my own record label, got my own hip hop group. I'm touring Indonesia. I'm the head of sound at Dubai Channels Network.
And now you become a international musician. So how does Indonesia influence your career as an international musician?
I draw so much inspiration from Indonesia. You know, I take a lot from the experiences that I had growing up in Indonesia and what I do in Dubai. I'm mentoring a few up-and-coming artists in Dubai, and I actually use a lot of Indonesian rappers and record labels in Indonesia as case studies for them to study, because the music industry here, especially the hip-hop community here, it's quite strong and it's doing quite well. It may not be as commercially successful as other genres of music, but it is quite a strong community, and a lot of people do live off of rap and hip-hop here. So, I mean, for example, one of the things that I'm very, very proud of is when I first moved to Dubai in 2005, for the first 2 years, I was just a fan. I was like, let me just like research and be a fan and see who are the bands and who's doing what and what's the music scene like here, because there may not be a music industry, but let's see if there's at least a music scene, right? And there was. And what I saw was that within the rock community, they were very strong. They were all working together, collaborating together, organizing events, you know, putting out CDs and helping each other promote their CDs and stuff. Same with, you know, electronic music. You know, DJs were quite supportive of one another, and they were putting on nights and they were doing really well. But in terms of the hip hop community, maybe because of the nature of hip hop and rappers being very, very egotistical and being like, oh, I'm the best rapper. Like, who are you? You know, like they weren't working together. There was a unwillingness to collaborate because probably because of this egotistical thing. So I then remember that in Indonesia, what I felt brought the Indonesian hip hop community together and actually started the community was the compilation album Pesta Rap that was released in the 90s. Yeah, I think this compilation is what introduced people to rappers from different cities And it also brought the rappers from those different cities together to work on a project together, you know? And then when they were promoting the compilation, they obviously had to come together and do shows and stuff and meet one another. And I think it wasn't on stage, but it was those meetings backstage when they were waiting to get to perform, where they started to talk to each other and they started to connect and they started to become friends and bonding happened. And I think that's when the hip hop community in Indonesia was born. Yeah, when everyone started to connect through this project. So I said, I wanted to do the same thing in Dubai. I said, let's make a compilation album in Dubai and get everybody that is involved in the hip hop community here.
So can you please tell us what's your favorite moment of being a rapper? Maybe you can tell us as an opening for the Snoop Dogg concert?
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely my favorite moment. I never thought that this boy from Ciputat or from Aceh would ever be the opening act for Snoop Dogg, you know? Especially because I used to listen to his album Doggy Style on the way to school, you know, stuck in traffic for 1.5, 2 hours every morning, you know, and it, how that happened is also an interesting story. All right. And I tell this story to, you know, up and coming artists who are just starting off. The importance of, it's very important, especially when you're just starting off, to take every opportunity that is given to you, no matter how bad it may seem. Yeah, maybe you think that the event doesn't fit you or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Take it anyway. You know, it's really important in the beginning. You know, if you can, for the first 2 or 3 years of your career, don't say no. Always say yes. Okay. So how the Snoop gig happened was 2 years after the compilation. The compilation then turned into everyone that was involved in the compilation. We became a label, okay, and then we became a hip hop. We were a hip hop group as well, right? And so we started putting on our own events. We started getting booked for shows and stuff like that. And one of the shows that we got booked for about 2 years later, the promoter failed to promote it properly, and when we showed up, there was only 3 people there. Imagine, we were going to perform to 3 people. One of the 3 was my wife, right? So the promoter came to us and he was like, listen, I've already paid you 50% of your fee. If you don't want to perform, I understand. But then you just keep the 50%. Like, I can't pay the rest. And so we were like, look, we're here already anyway. Okay, there's 2 people here. We've got our camera crew or whatever. We might as well just like make some content out of it. You know, we'll perform to the 2 of them. We'll film it. We'll get some good pictures and stuff because it's a cool stage. And, you know, we'll make the best out of it. Whatever. We're here. So we ended up performing to these 2 people and my wife. And it ended up being really, really fun. Probably because, you know, we weren't worried about performing to a giant crowd or whatever. It was just 2 people, you know? So we were being goofy on stage. We were telling jokes and stuff, you know? And turns out that the one person who was one of the 2, he was a promoter, and he was the one who was going to bring Snoop Dogg to Abu Dhabi. And so he comes to us after the show and he goes, you guys are absolutely amazing. I haven't had that much fun in Dubai in such a long time. I'm bringing Snoop Dogg next month. You guys have to open for him. And we were like, yeah, of course. Like, sure, like, here's my number, you know, and it just happened. That's how it happened, you know? So it just goes to show you that, like, you know, no matter what the situation is, no matter how bad it looks, you know, try to always focus on the positives, and you really never know what doors may open from the opportunities that are presented to you, and it's very important to take advantage of everything that is given to you, because you really, really never know what can happen.
So recently, you have released your new song called Ballin' in Bali. Can you tell us in Bali? And is there the reason why you are in Bali right now?
I was feeding off of this energy of coming back home after 3 years. I was feeding off of my friends' energy. One day we were hanging out in Canggu on the beach, watching the sunset, beautiful sunset, watching the surfers. Everybody's walking on the beach, playing football. The dogs are running all around the place. It's just beautiful vibes. And one of my friends is eating nasi goreng. Another one of my friends is eating nasi rendang. And then my friend who's eating rendang, she takes a big bite of rendang. She's like, man, we're living this life. We're balling in Bali. And I was like, hey, that's an idea there, So that's when the lyrics started coming in. And, when we were driving around on our scooters around Bali, we were like, my friend's like, man, it's like we're a little scooter gang, that's how I made this some merchandise, some Bali merchandise. It's a scooter gang, it's my nasi gang, and a rendang. This all came from that one vacation in Bali. So Ballin' in Bali is pretty much just when you're on holiday in Bali, like what those Bali vibes are about.
All right, so right now we're going to do games. All right.
Okay.
So we have a quiz for you. So are you
okay.
ready? All right. So
yes.
First one is guessing the food. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the clue is, I'm a variant of satay. The unique part about me is my skewers have flat and wide forms. It can be chicken, beef, or pork. But don't forget to mention that I'm from Bali. So what am I?
Satay lilit.
Correct. Wow, you're good. You you have that much knowledge about Bali. Oh man, that's why you Bali in Bali. I get it now.
Yes, exactly.
I get it.
Also because I just had some just before this interview, so I was like, oh yeah, I just had that.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so one's right. All right, so this the next questions. So this is about, the clue is about dance. All right, this is a traditional dance. All right, this dance has to play with many people. The movement has dynamic animation, which requires multiple costume change. And also in Asian games, he was performed as an opening. No. Sorry. No. You wanna guess again?
It's the other Aceh dance, right?
Yeah, it's actually quite. Yeah, it's actually another one.
What's it called?
It's quite hard actually. The name of it, like not very common, to be honest.
I forgot the name. I know which one it is, but I forgot the name.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you the name. It's called Ratoh Jaro.
There you go.
Yeah, Ratoh Jaro. So it's pretty close actually. Especially this one is not many people actually know, right, about Ratoh Jaro. Okay, and so it's 1 out of 2. You got 1 out of 2.
1 out of 2.
And
50%.
so 50% exactly. So the last one, it's about so guess the song and the band. All right. I will read some lyrics, and you must guess the song title and the band. Not only that, but you also have to sing again in your version. How about that? Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm really bad at this because I don't listen to a lot of music. But let's try. Let's see.
All right. This is actually the band you like. All right. So I'm gonna read it flat, like
No melody or
intonation
anything,
at all. Yeah, no melody at all.
Okay,
Like
okay.
really flat. Like I'm about to cry probably. This how good. Like I'm
Okay.
soulless. I'm soulless right now.
Okay.
All right.
Let's
So
see.
takkan ku lepas lagi semua waktuku dan waktumu di saat kita dipacu rindu semakin dalam semakin dalam.
That's it?
Again.
Was that? Yeah,
Yeah.
That wasn't even the chorus. Give me the chorus.
All right, the chorus, yeah. Oh janjiku takkan ku lepas selamanya. Oh janjiku ku ikuti kata hatiku.
Is that Gigi?
Exactly. What's the name of the song?
Janjiku bukan? No?
Exactly. It's Janji.
Yeah. Janji.
All right. Congratulations. Oh, can you sing for us?
I don't know how to sing this song, but I know how to sing another one of their songs.
All right.
Can I sing that one instead? Sing the one I know. Kala yang diinginkan aku dari mimpiku, wow, wow, wow. Coba terbangkan hayalku dari sadarku, wow, wow. That's it. That's all I know.
All right, thank you, Swerte, for having time with us. We wish you pleasant flight and safe flight back to Dubai. And until next time. Thank you, Swerte.